Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, my name's Tim Daly. I'm a painter, and these are just a couple of my paintings. We're in Newman Leathers in my studio in Hoboken.
My name is Glenn Garver. I'm an abstract painter, and I've been working here at Newman Leather for I guess I would say around 25 years. And yeah, oil on canvas. I love this building, the energy here. It's a great space.
Actually, it's so funny. I just wrote something down, and I was trying to. Hi, my name is Michelle Dahl, and I am a figurative oil painter. I paint portraits of people in intimate scenarios where I explore what it feels like to be loved or to feel love, to desire love, or long for that feeling of security and connection.
Okay, so my name is Shauna Finn, and I am a painter and I'm a high school art teacher. Yeah, I've been in the Newman Leather building for I think 3 years almost. Maybe it'll be 3 years in November, if I'm not mistaken. And I've known Michelle since we were in school, so that's how I found out about the building in the first place. I remember years ago, after we graduated, she was here and I would visit and just always loved this building and was like, this would be a great place to be.
I'm Diego Chavez and I'm a photographer.
Wonderful. And when did you come to Newman Leather?
We moved in summer of 2018.
And you say we, who is we?
I have a studio partner. We both work on our own things, but we share the space, helps with rent, and also gets to bounce stuff off each other.
I arrived in Hoboken in 1977, and apartments were cheap and abundant. It was kind of the I hate to say it, the most able people had moved to the suburbs. They succumbed to that temptation. And then in the early 80s, you saw this reverse wave of their kids who grew up in the suburbs, wanted jobs in New York, and wanted to live in the city just for the convenience of it too. So it got popular kind of fast. Hoboken actually gentrified before Brooklyn. I remember people moving to Brooklyn and like, moving down, but that quickly changed.
I arrived in Jersey City in 1980. I was going to art school in Manhattan, and I came over the river from the Lower East Side, and I fell in love with Jersey City. I could have gone to a building in Jersey City, industrial building like Newman, and I knew a few artists there, but I decided against it. Ended up at Newman because I had friends who had space here, and they had a small space that, and I don't know, it felt right. It was the south end of Hoboken, which is close to Jersey City, which is great to get on my bike. I can get here very easily. And I'm glad I made that decision because the other building that I could have gone to in Jersey City was torn down for development because they wanted to make an arts area in Jersey City to focus, give space for artists. But actually what they did is they tore the building down, kicked out all the artists, and now it's just sort of an expensive place to live. And so I would have been out looking again if I'd gone there. So ending up here was a good move.
Oh my gosh, okay, so I got a studio here in 2006, and I had a space down the hall for about 4 years, and then I've been in this space since, what would that be, like 2010.
What was Hoboken like at that time, and how did Newman fit into the sort of culture of Hoboken at large, or was it still very insular?
Yeah, it's its own like kind of entity. I feel there were more spaces available for art in the area. Like I know that Monroe Center was there were a lot of artists there. And there were some other spaces in town where I had friends that were artists that were, you know, practicing painting and all that. But like, I feel like this is kind of the last remaining space available, still standing.
It's one of the only remaining kind of old school art lofty type old buildings where you can have a studio and it's not like outrageously expensive, and you can make a mess and have space. And what I love about this space most is the light. I mean, these windows are just the best.
And everyone here is really, the people I know have been here for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
They've been here a long time. And they're all very serious about what they do, their work. So there's definitely that kind of energy, I think, that you can sort of feed off of.
Yeah.
To be work as one as far as anyone that might want to take the building over. So there's that kind of unites us in a way because we want to hang on to what we have. So there's that. It's really just, for whatever reasons, the individuals that are here, they're real down to earth. Like, you know, whether it's Michelle or Tim on this floor. I mean, it's a large building and there's other wings, and I'm not really, I know a few other people, but like I said, I work late at night. I mean, I like it for the fact that other than a handful of people, it really feels quite private. I mean, you know, I come here to work. It's not too big on the social things, but when we do have an open studio tour, I leave my space open, but I really wander around just to check out everything else that's going on.
I mean, with this sort of future, would you want to stay in what might be a new building, or would you seek out something similar?
If things change,
Yeah.
I would hope that if we move to some other part of the building that they don't change it over and fix it up too much. It's all the nice old industrial aspect of it. I mean, they don't have to do anything, you know, I don't know other artists, but the artists I know, what we want is just a raw space that we don't have to have any rules as far as what we can do in the spaces, as far as maintaining it or anything like that. So I would hope that they would not fix it up and then lay all this other, rules to go along with it.
I'd been in the building a lot. Actually, before I rented a space here, I was able to use Tim Daly's studio, which we're sitting in right now. And I was working in the back there, and so I worked out of here for about 4 months while we looked for our own space. And you know, just through visiting it over the years and knowing the work that came out of here, both art and music. I mean, because one of the early things that brought me here was music. I don't play, but I'm a huge fan, and there's a couple of spaces in here where people would just get together and play music. And so I was aware of the community here, and I appreciate it. And a lot of them are friends of mine. So I knew that coming here, I'd have that, I'd be surrounded by that, supportive environment. Got to meet new people like Michelle Dahl and Shauna, who's both amazing painters. I met a tailor who's across the hall from me on the fourth floor. So it's just this community, and if you work with your door open at any time, people will stop in and just chat and to have that kind of sounding board for the stuff that you're working on. As an artist, we all, anybody who toils in the arts knows that self-doubt and it's a big part of the process, regrettably. But having an audience and a supportive community to bounce things off of and show them your work and progress and things of that nature is great.
So here I am. This is 5E. That's the floor, and I've managed this floor, which is 6,000 square feet, 8 studios, since I first moved here. I'm the shot caller, so I don't have to call them very often. I've been very lucky that people here are not only nice, but really talented, and they pay the rent, and no problem. The one big unifying thing was forming a tennis association. We used to be Newman Leathers Tennis Association. Now, a long time has gone by, so the leadership of that organization, me included, I kind of on to other things. I need to spend my time on my work. So there's a new tennis association here now that is collaborating with the city and the developer to find a way to save our spaces. And there's a pretty comprehensive plan. It could work. Things often fall apart in development, and it takes years, hopefully. Hopefully it'll take another 20 years, until I'm way past caring, as they say. Life is short. I have a lot of paintings to finish, so yeah, I'm hopeful about the future, you know, and I trust my colleagues here I trust their judgment about this. It's complicated, but they, you know, we all want to stay, so.
Awesome.
I feel like this is a more grassroots sort of place. And
How would you ideally like to see the future of Newman play out?
I mean, I understand that change is necessary. Like I have a leak in my studio right now, so I know things have to evolve. And I mean, ideally, I'd love to keep this space for as long as I can. It's like the best space ever. I love being here.
It's funny because, like, right after I moved in, I found out that it was like in the works to go away eventually, and I was like, no, but you know, it's been in the works apparently for a long, long time. I do think it does sound like it's like becoming more of a reality, but there's this apparently whole plan to try to retain the community of artists here within the new framework of, you know, this thing they're building. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just like here for the ride. I really hope that it takes a while because I want this to stay just the way it is for as long as possible because I love it. But if it happens relatively soon, I hope I can be a part of it and stay with the community and that it works out. And, you know, something that, I mean, I appreciate that, like the community, the city council, like all these people involved, really. There's a lot of people, from what I understand, that are upset. It's like one of the last kind of, it's a known institution, this building. And, you know, I'm not from Hoboken, so I don't know it quite as well. I live in Jersey City now, but I never actually lived in Hoboken, but from what I gather, it's like people want to try to hang on. They appreciate the art community here and want to hang on to one of the last kind of situations where artists can affordably make their work. So I hope that's true. That's all I can say. I hope that they can do it.
Oh, not even long range. The plan is to build apartments here on the Hoboken side of this too. It's never ending.
How would they do that?
I know. Over the train tracks.
Over.
The years just race by. And, you know, the changes that happen are transformational. So yeah, eventually it was redeveloped. But we used to wander around over there. And there were some leftover buildings, and I saw a fox during the day. It was that comfortable. It was such a wild place now, you know. And just really overgrown, and just completely ignored, abandoned until, you know, real estate development.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, when you talk to the old timers, not old timers age-wise, because Tim and I are about the same age, that have been here a long time in this space, they've seen this development effort many times over the kind of almost 30 years that he's been here. Yeah, you know, I think it's a unique space in giving where we are. You know, Hoboken's evolving. I mean, I moved here in '87, and it was still a dodgy, kind of sketchy. You didn't go below Willow, you know, things of that nature. But it was great. It was gritty, and I loved it. I'm a freak of nature that this building can exist here, and it's by the hard work and the grit of the
Yeah, it's
tenants
funny how fast plants
that
react.
kind of keep it together.
Yeah.
Leaning in. But it's south-facing windows.
Right.
This is perfect.
Can't beat that.
When you see down and see that and see that and every day goes by. the center. The center. The center of the center of us, soon to be innocent fire.
I'm gonna sing, I don't know.
And the band
And
staring green hour. And the band staring green hour.
Yes, their lips straight. But all matters, right?
And the band. Oh, good. In the band, every green hour.